race fans, and welcome back to the League Zero Racing Series, the premier Formula 3 iRacing League. Today, we're at Interlagos, Brazil, getting ready for the feature event, followed by the action-packed sprint race. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second as drivers lining up on grid row. And let's take a look and see where they're going to be at. Starting up front, Russell Soto. Nick Beaver starting second. Raymond Aguilar starting third. Micah Barnett starts fourth. Jake Duckwall starting fifth. John Kasai starts sixth. Antonio Bianchi starting seventh. Jared Ziegler starting eighth. Scott Cummins starting ninth. Michael Fairchild starting 10th. Gareth McAllister starting 11th. Chase Small starting 12th. Cycling it back one more time, Nick Trollman starts 13th. Xavier Zanave starting 14th. Peter Rettinger starts 15th. Levi Opitz will round out the 16-car grid as let's get ready to fire them off here at Brazil. A lot of fast guys making their way out. Soto, Beaver, Aguilar, Barnett, Duckwall. Everybody inside that top five, I think, has got a good chance of making something happen here. As always, thank you to our fans, friends, and family from across the world tuning in, supporting the broadcast, supporting your racers, and supporting the action here at League Zero. As the lights get ready to come on, and away they go. Looks like something happened to Nick Beaver, and the number 10 machine gets a dreadful launch, loses 4 spots early on. As Aguilar, Barnett, Duckwall, Kasai grab early position. There's Jared Ziegler and Antonio Bianchi going at it here in the battle for 7th. Looks like Ziegler's going to hold on to this spot, fending off the Italian stallion Antonio Bianchi. Up front, it's still Soto, Aguilar, Barnett, 1, 2, 3. As Bianchi tries the inside line, looks like he's going to make it happen against longtime friend and rival Jared Ziegler. Ziegler tucks in right behind, but let's go back up front as Raymond Aguilar trying to track down Soto. Soto always extremely quick each and every time he gets out on track. And there's Micah Barnett, the 59 machine, still holding on to the 3rd place position. Oh, I heard tragedy. Where was it? It was Chase Small with an off-track excursion. Let's take a look, see what happened at number 5 machine. Looks like that was a very odd. Looks like maybe caught a little bit of grass on the right side, spins it around. He's going to fall way down the standings. As we check back in up front, Soto, Aguilar, Barnett. Really, Soto and Aguilar have a bit of a breakaway, about 6/10 over Micah Barnett, that 59 machine. Soto has the fastest lap so far tonight, a 1:35 flat. Keep an eye out, as I think those times are going to rapidly decrease as the run progresses here and drivers get a little bit more comfortable. And we've also got a battle for 5th between Nick Beaver and John Kasai. Beaver making the outside line work. He will edge his way back inside the top 5 again. Beaver qualified very well in 2nd, but had an extremely tough start, falling back a whole slew of positions, so he's going to have his work cut out for him here. And let's see another battle we have out on track. Michael Fairchild, Jared Ziegler, Antonio Bianchi in a 3-car pack. They are about 1 second ahead of Gareth McAllister, the 25 machine. And it looks like Bianchi trying to close the gap to Fairchild. He's down 2 spots in the 17 machine. Gonna try and work his way back up, but what happened here? Micah Barnett is coming down pit road. What problem did Barnett have? We'll try and get word from that from race control, or if we can. And another battle for fifth. John Kasai, Jared Ziegler side by side. Kasai at the inside line, a little bit of a micro lockup. I think that was from Ziegler. Ziegler goes very wide off track. And Kasai will hold on to the position here, that fifth place spot, as Ziegler tries to fire back at the 57. Right behind him, that's still the 3-car pack of Fairchild, Bianchi, and now McAllister joining the fray. As we see, can the propane depot man himself, the number 3 John Kasai, hold on to it? And that's always the great part here at League Zero. It doesn't matter where you're at out on track, always some great racing to be found. And in this instance, the battle for fifth between Kasai and Ziegler, as Soto still maintains the top spot, dipping down into the 1:27 second lap time to 1:27.86, his last time by, fastest lap of the race. Fairchild having some sort of issues. Looked like McAllister involved in that, as well as Bianchi. Let's take a look, see what happened there. Fairchild in the 88 machine grabs too much curbing up the inside line, gets the car all unsettled. Looks like briefly gets linked up with McAllister, and Bianchi had his own solo incident. Dropping like flies here. McAllister having more problems off track. Fairchild also off track. I'm wondering if McAllister's number 25 machine sustained a little bit of suspension damage, linking up with Fairchild there. Because now Antonio Bianchi works his way around number 25. I think McAllister's got to have some sort of problems here. Seems to have really fallen off pace, and just ahead of them, Chase Small and Levi Opitz battling for 11th. Opitz up 5 spots so far. Small sitting exactly where he qualified, but the commentator's curse strikes again as Levi Opitz goes way off in the grass. Able to hold on to it. And oh no. Fairchild has big issues in the 88. The back right rear has left the building, as it looks like Gareth McAllister also coming down pit road to get some repairs done. Back up front, the battle for third, the final podium spot. Nick Beaver has caught back up to Jake Duckwall's 99 machine. But it seems like Interlagos striking hard against the drivers this evening. As man, Duckwall, Beaver going at it. Beaver trying the long way around here. In the 99, or excuse me, fending off the 99 of Duckwall. Duckwall is going to get shuffled back to fourth. And Nick Beaver trying with a little bit of fire underneath him here. Beaver qualified extremely well, second place in qualifying. But then with that rough start, really fell towards the back. We did get a report Michael Fairchild had to retire. He will be done and out of this feature event. Let's take a look here and see what happened to Beaver. On the start, on the left side, just very, very slow to get on the gas. The rest of the field was able to get around the number 10. But so far, working back up towards the front, Beaver works his way back into podium contention. He's going to be about 4.4 seconds back from Raymond Aguilar in second. And Aguilar still lagging behind, about 1.1 seconds behind your race leader, Russell Soto. Now Soto, this is where he's absolutely most lethal in the number 50 machine. He's got clean air in front of him. Not too much pressure from Aguilar behind, who's still about a second. Yeah, just a second exactly off that number 50 machine, sitting proudly out front. As we wait for the lap times to update. Both Soto and Aguilar in the 128.2s. Ziegler just clicked off his fastest lap of the race as well, a 129.43, so the pace still improving for a whole lot of the drivers. I'll be interested to see Soto, his fastest lap of the race, and the fastest lap of the race, a 127.86. Gonna be curious to see if Soto can get maybe even a little bit more time out of that number 50 machine as the tires come in and the fuel tank gets a little bit more empty. It looked like we had a battle for 8th shaping up. Nick Trollman and Xavier Zanave, but Levi Opitz, the Oklahoma native, he's got an incident going on. As Chase Small and Antonio Bianchi. Bianchi makes a pass for 11th, secures it against Small. And let's take a look to see what happened to Levi Opitz here. Looks like it's going to be going into one. A little bit of a micro lockup, gets the car unsettled, and across the curbing he goes. And just zips around the back end there. Luckily, no damage for Small. For Opitz. He will continue charging forward here. As it looks like Bianchi pulling a pretty healthy gap over Chase Small has whittled away that time to advance to 0.7 of a second. As we check back in on race leader Russell Soto, 1.4 seconds. An advantage over Raymond Aguilar. Now, historically, these top drivers will wait until the fuel tank is almost empty before they come down pit road for their one scheduled box of the evening. McAllister and Fairchild still in pit road. But fuel window is going to open up for these drivers around lap 13. And man, oh man, Soto not finding too much more pace, but Raymond Aguilar clicks off his fastest lap of the race, a 128.07, running about 0.2 faster than Soto that last time by. But I think Soto may be in cruise control mode early on, just enjoying the clean air, focused on his marks, and not running at maybe necessarily at 100%. Just playing it safe and charging forward here. Right now we've got 3 drivers with the hard charger contention. Nick Trollman and Xavier Zanave running 8th and 9th, separated by a second, as well as Peter Renger. So let's make that 8th, 9th, and 10th. All drivers within 2 seconds of each other, I believe. All are up 5 positions so far tonight. And late in the season, everybody trying to maximize some points. Looks like Trollman has a bit of a lockup as well. I think that was the right rear, smoking pretty heavily out of the number 8 machine. Tapping those brakes a little bit too much, but let's pan back to Peter Renger, the number 44 machine. He is running 10th out on track and is trying to close that 8/10 advantage that Xavier Zanave now has in the 9th place position. Again, Redger, Zanave, Trollman, all up 5 spots from where they originally qualified. And it looks like that train of drivers hinting at closing the gap as well to Scott Cummins in the number 55 machine. Cummins running 7th out on the circuit. With a little bit of luck, these drivers will start pulling in a little bit closer, and we could very well see a 3, maybe a 4-car battle inside the top 10. Barring any mistakes, we've seen attrition really come into play here. And now Xavier Zanave moving up to Trollman in the battle for 8. Zanave, a big lunge at the inside line. Trollman trying to carry a little bit more pace around the high line. Outside line, I should more aptly say. But it looks like Zanave almost had it cleared there. Trollman fires back the inside line as these two start battling side by side. Here comes Peter Redger, the all-black 44 machine. Oh no, Zanave with a big bobble. That's going to allow Trollman back by, and all of a sudden, 3 cars just inside the top 10. And look at that, there's Antonio Bianchi, the number 17 machine. He's down 4 spots, but with 3 drivers battling in front of him, may have a shot of redemption here. So Trollman holds on to the 8th place spot. Zanave right behind him. Zanave peeks the inside line through 1 once more. As Redger and Bianchi, running 10th and 11th right behind, have rapidly closed the gap. Zanave fighting tooth and nail, the flying Frenchman. He wants all the points he can get as he works his way around Trollman once more. That's going to make Zanave, the hard charger, now up 6 spots. And look at that, Peter Redger, Antonio Bianchi side by side. There's Chase Small joining the party. Seems like all the action is what is now about a 5-car battle for 8. As with these guys throwing haymakers at each other, it's going to slow down the race pace and allow Scott Cummins in 7th to really pull a gap. He's about 3.3 seconds up over Zanave. Zanave has broken free from Trollman. But Chase Small, Peter Redger, Antonio Bianchi still bunched up here. Small briefly tucking in behind Redger as Redger continues to drive defensively on the inside line. Small's going to try and get set up for turn 2, and looks like Small's going to make it happen there. But already, while Redger and Small were battling here for 11th, that has given a 1-second advantage to Antonio Bianchi sitting at 10th. Bianchi right behind Trollman, hops out of the draft, takes a look at the inside line. Looks like he was almost backing out of it. So Bianchi's going to get the spot away from Trollman. Trollman, I can't tell if that was Trollman or Small that just locked up the brakes there. And now Small's going to have his eyes set on the number 8 machine to see if he can work his way up inside the top 10. We are at the halfway mark of this feature event. And we get a report from Gareth McAllister, the Australian piloting the number 25 machine. In that incident with Fairchild, he did receive a meatball flag for damage, forcing him, number 25 machine, down pit road. And he will be trying to return to the circuit here tonight. As we did get a report, McAllister is indeed back out on track after 8 minutes and 45 seconds in his stall. Now the big question is, when are we going to start to see some drivers come down pit road? As Soto's still about 1 1/4 second up over Raymond Aguilar. Aguilar 5.9 seconds ahead of Nick Beaver. As Soto just clicking off laps. Aguilar has his fastest. 1:27.96, still finding time and pace as the run continues. But let's go back to this 8th, 9th, 10th battle going on. There's Xavier Zanave, the Frenchman, the green and yellow. Chase Small is getting stalked by Antonio Bianchi's number 17 machine. Looks like Bianchi taking it. Oh, there's contact! Going into one. Chase Small, Antonio Bianchi are both returned back to pit road. A big incident. Looks like both drivers either took a tow or hit the limit. Let's take a look, see what happened here. We're watching Chase Small and Antonio Bianchi tucked in behind Xavier Zanave. Wheel-to-wheel contact, and that's all she wrote for the two of them. Antonio Bianchi, Chase Small, smacking the outside wall and safety barrier. I think both drivers taking a tow there. And as we do that, Levi Opitz will join the list of drivers returning back to the virtual hall in the number 7 machine. Oh! They're dropping like flies here, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to leave 11 drivers still on the track as Antonio Bianchi, Chase Small, Levi Opitz, and Michael Fairchild have put it back at the virtual hauler. Now McAllister is still out on track, and with those 3 people that just crashed in front of him, if McAllister can just stay out for about 4 or 5 laps, he's going to move his way up into 12th. And that could be big for points, especially in the sprint race where it's an inverted top 12. So that means McAllister could start up front. Nick Trollman now finding himself in 9th, up 4 spots. He's got Peter Rettinger right behind him. And it looks like Trollman's starting to close the gap to Zanave there in 8th. The rest of the field fairly stretched out. 2 closest cars out on track is Peter Rettinger in 10th, Nick Trollman in 9th. As I'm surprised how much late race carnage there's been here. 10 laps left to go here at Brazil. We've had no scheduled pit stops so far tonight. Everybody's been down pit road, has been there due to necessity. As I say that, Nick Trollman will be the first driver down pit road. He will fall back to 11th. And let's check in on Soto to see when that number 50 machine might be signaling he's coming down pit road. And Soto, missed your consistency up front. Now, we did get a report Nick Trollman, after he's only in his pit stall for 5 seconds, the lap 15 pit stop. We're expecting to see about the same from the rest of the drivers. As Soto clicking off laps, making it look easy. But again, when is Soto going to come down pit road? Still holding about a 1.3 second advantage over Raymond Aguilar. Looks like Micah Barnett's going to come down pit road for his scheduled stop. That will actually be his second stop tonight, as Micah Barnett did have to come in for a little bit of damage repair after a lap 2 incident. That's when he had the self-spin that McAllister joined the fray with. Speaking of McAllister, he needs to be out on track for about 4 more laps to try and take over the 12th place spot after being in pit road for an extremely long time getting the repairs done. And after that pit cycle, it looks like we're still going to have a battle for 10th. Nick Trollman and Micah Barnett linked up about a half second between each other. And closing fast, here comes Micah Barnett. Barnett, another one of those fast drivers that had quite a bit of misfortune here tonight. He is down 7 positions. He qualified 4th, currently 11th out on track. And he's got Nick Trollman's number 8 machine in his sights to see if he can work his way back inside the top 10. And it looks like Barnett's going to do it here. Meanwhile, just a little bit ahead of them, Xavier Zanave has company from Peter Rettinger. Rettinger tucked in the draft here behind Zanave, trying to get something sorted. Ooh, look at that, Rettinger with a big lunge up the inside line. Zanave looks like he was trying to carry a little bit more swooping line to carry the speed, but not having any luck. So Rettinger will take over the 8th place spot. Meanwhile, right behind them, Micah Barnett, Nick Trollman having a fierce battle for 10th here. Now these two guys are almost 20 seconds back from Xavier Zanave in 12th. They're just racing for the glory of racing at this point, but Russell Soto, your race leader, has come down pit road on lap 19, so that could shake things up a little bit here. Aguilar, Beaver, Duckwall opt to stay out. Let's check in Raymond Aguilar, who's got clean air up front now. Soto has rejoined the circuit, still holding on to the 4th place position. The top 3 drivers, Aguilar, Beaver, Duckwall, have yet to come down pit road. Now I'm very interested to see McAllister again in that number 25 machine. He's going to be about 6 laps down from the leaders as we watch Aguilar come down pit road hard on the brakes, almost too hard there. I wonder if he's nervous he got maybe a penalty. Nick Beaver comes down pit road. Duckwall's going to follow suit. And that should put Soto back as your race leader. Aguilar in and out in 4.2 seconds. Soto was a 10th faster on pit road. So Aguilar, I believe, will come out on track still as your race leader. Yes, he will. About 9/10 ahead of Soto. We are going to have a battle for the lead here, ladies and gentlemen. Just about everybody out on track comes down pit road, but You want to talk about Gareth McAllister, involved in that early incident, came down pit road on lap 4 for an extremely long time. Still in a good spot to pick up 3 positions. He's got to go about 3 more laps, and then he can pass Bianchi, Small, and Opitz, who were forced to retire early. But I'm excited to see what the Soto and Aguilar show holds for us here. And we did just get a report McAllister was able to pass all the way up to 12th, getting by the drivers on pit road. So just like that, McAllister is in the points. And if he can finish 12th, he'll be starting on the top spot for the sprint event. Going a little bit further back, Peter Renger, Micah Barnett battling for 8th, side by side. About 2 seconds back from them is Xavier Zanave. Nick Trollman still going at it. Barnett works his way back up into 8th. A little bit further back, that's Trollman and Zanave. Linked up nose to tail. Let's see as Trollman's going to try the outside line into 1 to try and get set up for the inside in 2. Zanave defends the inside line. Looks like Trollman not quite able to carry the speed he's looking for. Zanave holds on to the 10th place position. Trollman still, 11th. And a good camera angle showing the multiple battles going on right now. Trollman up the inside line, takes away the spot from Zanave. Moving back into 10th, but here comes Zanave, not willing to let it go. We've seen some great battles out here at Interlagos. 5 laps left to go. And it looks like only 12 drivers out on track. Uh-oh, that was Micah Barnett. I believe showed involved in a crash and an off track. Let's take a look to see what happened to him here. That front right got in a little bit of the grass. That allowed Renger, Trollman, Zanave. Well done to Barnett, quickly hopping off the track, getting out of the race line to try and save that car. As Barnett slides back to 11th, a race he'd most likely rather forget here. And Zanave, a massive lunge up into turn 1, taking over the 9th place position. Trollman falls back to 11th. And still, Zanave and Trollman, each driver refusing to yield here. Trollman up 4 spots into 9th. Zanave up 4 spots this evening into 10th. Well, looks like Zanave had a bit of a bobble there. It's going to give a pretty big advantage to Zanave, who pulls a 9-10th advantage. And let's see Zanave, who's made some big lunges trying to close that 9-10th advantage. Trollman was able to build up. It's down to a half second in the battle for 9th. as these are definitely the two closest drivers we have out on the circuit. With 4 drivers having to go back to the virtual hauler early on, trying to get ready for the sprint coming up later this evening. And Zanave really putting his head down here. You can see Trollman's blue and white number 8 machine just ahead, as Zanave is going to try and drive the wheels off this thing in the closing laps. And Aguilar still out front here after Soto was definitely the dominant driver coming into the first half of the race before the fuel stops. Let's check in on Aguilar. He has a 6-second advantage over Russell Soto. Soto came in a lap 18, Aguilar lap 19. Uncharacteristic to see Soto that far back at this point. But Aguilar definitely got faster as the run progressed. He got down to a 127.88, his fastest lap. 0.02 of a second slower than Russell Soto's fastest lap time. But again, back to the battle for 9th, Nick Trollman. Xavier Zanave. You can also see, look, there we go, there's Micah Barnett, the number 59 machine. Closing the gap as well. 9th, 10th, and 11th separated by about 2 seconds and closing fast. But not a lot of time left to make any big lunges. The white flag will be out this time by for Raymond Aguilar. What's going on here? Russell Soto has issues as now he's battling out with Nick Beaver. Beaver trying to work the outside line to take over the 2nd place position. Something must be going on with Soto. He was 3 seconds off, almost 4 seconds off his fastest lap of the night. And now the white flag is out for Raymond Aguilar. And Soto, who was the dominant driver, the fastest car out on track, now fighting very, very hard to hold on to a 2nd place position. So on screen, this is the battle for 2nd. Russell Soto, Nick Beaver. Who's it going to be here? Beaver throws it deep the inside line. Soto goes for a high-low. And still, these two are drag racing. Oh, Beaver holds on to it, guarding the inside line. A half lap remaining for either one of these drivers to make any big moves. And very quickly, Beaver puts a gap on Soto, 1.3 seconds. Soto's got to have something wrong here. Is Soto fuel saving? So you're on board Russell Soto. Let's go on board Nick Beaver. I think the RPMs tell a tale here as Raymond Aguilar picks up the win at Interlagos. Nick Beaver gets 2nd. And Russell Soto brings it home in third. A very odd night, though, for sure. We're going to try and get these top three drivers up into victory lane. And we're going to run a very quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with the top three of the feature event here tonight, and then followed up by more sprint racing action here at Brazil for the League Zero Formula Series. Welcome back, race fans. As we've got the standings pulled up from the feature event tonight, it was Aguilar, Beaver, Soto. And we're going to start getting drivers up here. Up first, it's going to be Russell Soto bringing home a third. Soto, everybody wants to know what happened there in that race. You were definitely the dominant driver in the opening half till the fuel windows. And then all of a sudden, we started to see that machine slowly fall back. So what happened out there for you and the team?
Yeah, James, extremely unfortunate. Unfortunately, did not pit with enough fuel. Was off by quite a big margin, so I had to fuel save at the second stint of the race, and that cost me a ton of time. But very happy to at least be on the podium at least. Definitely should have, or at least in my opinion, I could have won that race. It was in my hands, but unfortunately things like this happen.
Yeah, definitely agreed. You were, I mean, hands down the fastest driver in the opening half. Then Aguilar wicked up the pace a little bit. I believe you both had hot laps that were within 200ths of a second in the 127. So both of you guys carrying great pace, and I think that's just going to lead to an exciting sprint race. You'll be starting, I believe, 9th, while Aguilar will be starting 12th. What's the plan coming to the sprint race to try and regain a little bit of points after getting third in a race that you should have, I think, won?
Absolutely. Yeah, the plan is in the sprint race is to definitely showcase what I can do, try to get to the front, definitely try to win that race. I'm definitely hungry for a win after that last one. That was definitely torture driving around and slowly watching Raymond get away with it.
Well, that's a good way to describe it, Raymond. A good guy on and off the track. Soto, a great run out there, still able to capitalize on some points, getting ready for the sprint race. Before I let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make this evening possible?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my friends and family watching the stream. I love you guys. Thank you for coming, and I'd like to shout out League Zero, of course, as usual, as well as you, James, for putting on a great stream.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Russell, and we wish you the best of luck in the sprint race.
Thank you so much, James.
That was Russell Soto bringing home a third. Up next, we've got Mr. Nick Beaver bringing home a second. Nick, would you rather be lucky or good here tonight?
I guess I'd rather be lucky. I did not have any luck, or let's say talent at the beginning. I started the race in second gear. There are way too many paddles going on behind the steering wheel here. So, oh my goodness. I fell back to sixth and back up to second. I'll take it. Yeah, that was a decent finish, I guess.
And Nick, I'm glad you asked that. We were going to ask you about that interesting start procedure. You qualified so well in second and then dropped like a standing with a bad start. Now, is your setup, do you have double clutches? Is that what gave it? You're talking about too many paddles. Is that what happened, that you tried to activate a clutch setting and then it shifted into second? Or how did you manage that, I guess I'm asking?
Yeah, so I do have the double clutch thing going on. I don't know if these cars actually have them, but that's what I'm doing here. I probably shouldn't. But in my brain, I tell myself, squeeze the paddles. And when I do, I think, oh, I just put it in gear. And there was one race earlier this season where I actually forgot to, I think Road America, I forgot to put it in gear. And so I made sure I didn't do that tonight, but it looks like I went too far in the other direction. So yeah, I'm still getting used to these shifters. I'm not very good at them. So yeah, it's just my brain quite hasn't figured out the double paddle thing yet.
Well, hey, we've been talking to you more and more as the season progresses. You've been very consistent in that number 10 machine, and I think the pace is improving as well. So are you pretty happy with how this season's been going for you and the team?
Yeah, I chose this league, one, because, well, I wanted a league to do, but two, I like choosing cars that I don't feel very confident in. And I guess while my results haven't shown that so much, I feel like I've learned a lot by running around these faster guys like Raymond, Russell, Micah. It's nice to have people like that to chase, because you can find half a tenth in those guys. So yeah, I think I've improved a bit. I like that. So yeah, it's been good so far.
Well, it's been a lot of fun watching you progress. Starting procedures notwithstanding, it's been a lot of fun. You've definitely been getting faster and very consistent this season. So a lot of fun for us to watch up in the broadcast booth as well for the fans at home. So congratulations on a great finish in second. And Nick, we know the sprint race is coming up, so we'll let you get back out there. But who do you want to give a shout to before we let you go?
Big shout out to my new teammate Nick Trollman. I'm glad he's part of this now. I think he's pretty good in this car, so it's good to see him join. We've got Alex and Andrew. Maybe Mike's watching as well, so it's good to have some crew behind us.
Well, awesome, Nick. Congratulations and best of luck in the sprint race, my friend.
Thank you so much.
And that was Nick Beaver bringing home the second place. But my, oh my, who do we have here? Raymond Aguilar, the top spot. Well, Raymond, after the first 16 laps, were you predicting a win was in the cards for you?
No, I figured my only way this week to beat Russell, who's clearly faster, was just to lie, cheat, steal, and maybe hang and hope something like that happened. And yeah, unfortunately I underfueled, so I had to let off a lot at the end.
Now, so you and Soto both with pit road problems. We've both out of both of you guys, we've seen pit road issues in this season and seasons past. So what do you think caused it for both you and Soto tonight? Was it a manual calculation, or what happened to have that number 72 machine light on fuel towards the end?
I'll tell you exactly what it was for me. So I wasn't faster than Russell. He's had the better race pace than me. And so my only tool in the bag was to try to be consistent. And so I looked at the fuel calc mid-race, said 1.9 gallons. And then I'm so awesome and smart that I forgot to look again. I'm sure it changed before I went in, but I just didn't check again. So it was my own fault. I would love to blame it on the team, on the pit wall, but couldn't do it this weekend.
And Aguilar, to give yourself credit, I believe you and Soto on your hot laps, only 0.02 of a second apart there. So I don't think your pace was that far off, especially as you got more comfortable as the run progressed. Was this a track that you did a bunch of practice laps on, or are you showing up kind of cold and relying on seasons past data to carry you forward?
That's exactly what it was. I was gone the beginning of the week, wasn't able to do many laps, and so I was just hoping it would be the same. And we're running the same exact setup we ran last year here, and it just feels totally different. Something's off. So the set's okay, just pretty understeery and doesn't get a lot of rotation.
Oh, awesome. Well, still, hey, man, a win's a win, and we're going to add it to the stat sheet, so congratulations. A great run. I'm excited to see what happens in this sprint race. I think this is going to be a lot of fireworks as we've seen in the past Interlagos, especially as we watch you fast guys cut through the field. But before they let you sign off and get ready for this sprint race, who do you want to give a shout to that helps bring home this win for you and the team?
The whole team that backs up the number 72 Track Limit Racing, Little Debbie, Hankook Tire Sponsor Machine, Spy Optics, and my beautiful wife that puts up with this crap and makes sure I have my Batman shirt to race in every Thursday. And you, James, for hoping you pull through this cough or cold or whatever you have.
Thank you, man. I'm getting better day by day, and watching great races seems to be exactly what the doctor ordered. So, Raymond, good luck out there. Congratulations to the win, and as always, a good time talking to you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for toughing it out. I know this is a rough road, but I'm glad to see you're getting better.
Thank you for your service. That was Raymond Aguilar bringing home the top spot. Always having fun up at the broadcast booth. We're going to hang out for less than a minute, and then we're going to get ready to go once more at the sprint race here for Interlagos. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with half the laps and twice the action. And we are back for the final race of the night here at League Zero, the sprint race. We're going to go half the laps here tonight. And this is where we always see the fireworks. Now keep an eye on the left side of your screen, the running order. That is Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian number 25 machine, starting in the top spot. Micah Barnett starts second. Xavier Zanave starting third. Nick Trollman starting fourth. Peter Rettinger fifth. Scott Cummins 6th, Jared Ziegler 7th, John Kasai 8th, Jake Duckwall 9th, Russell Soto 10th, Nick Beaver 11th, Raymond Aguilar 12th with the inverted grid, and let's go racing here at League Zero for the sprint race. And let's see, so far things are looking good through turn 1. McAllister holds onto the race lead just ahead of Micah Barnett. Xavier Zanave in third, Trollman fourth. Scott Cummins has grabbed a spot early on in fifth. And somehow Russell Soto up 3 spots early on, now in 7th. And a very, very busy racetrack as Soto makes it 4 positions gain. Let's go back up front though. Gareth McAllister, Micah Barnett side by side. Xavier Zanave with a brief off-track excursion. He is in third. Barnett moves up to first ahead of McAllister's number 25 machine. And the entire field stacked up. And that's always exciting to get the top 12 drivers inverted for the sprint race. But things are going bad out back. Raymond Aguilar, Jared Ziegler, Michael Fairchild, all in a big one. Let's take a look, see what happened to Aguilar. He's side by side. I think that's going to be Ziegler, the 57 machine. Oh, it looks like Aguilar got to the back of the number 5, and then the field starts stacking up. And unfortunately, Aguilar is going to be done and out for the evening, taking it toe to pit road. And Xavier Zanave, Gareth McAllister battling for the now second place spot. McAllister takes a peek back to the inside line of Zanave. But unfortunately, Aguilar will be not making it back-to-back race wins tonight. Michael Fairchild also on pit road. He is done and out. As Micah Barnett, the 59 machine out front, can try and stretch his legs as Nick Trollman moves into podium contention and working around the outside line of McAllister. But keep an eye out. There's Russell Soto's number 50 machine. Up 5 spots so far. Oh, it looks like a little bit of contact there between, I think it's going to be Scott Cummins and Soto. As up front, Micah Barnett stretching his legs, not having any issues here. going to try and update. We got something going on with the flags not showing up. The live timing tower not looking its healthiest here. Let's try and get that update for the fans at home. There we go. That's a proper looking overlay. So it's still Barnett up front. As Trollman had issues, he has an off track. Now sitting 14th on the circuit. Micah Barnett has the fastest lap of the race on 1:29.04. But keep an eye out on Soto. He was extremely quick in the feature event until he underfueled that car. And he is going to be out for blood here, putting his head down, seeing what he can come up with. Soto tucked in right behind Zanave. And there goes Soto making the push towards second. He's got the fastest lap so far in the sprint on 1:28.23. Now Soto and Aguilar in the feature event both got down to 1:27 second lap times. But let's pan a little bit back as we see a pretty fierce battle shaping up for, I believe this is going to be 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. And just like that, that party's going to get interrupted. That was a lot. That was Jake Duckwall, Chase Small. I'm not sure how Bianchi got through that, to be honest. Everybody bobbing and weaving here. And just absolute carnage for Duckwall and Small. Both cars getting obliterated. And Bianchi saw the C's part there in front of the number 17 machine. And he slides up into 4th nice and easy. Duckwall and Small again have retired from this event. They are done and out. Looks like Scott Cummins is going to have company from John Kasai's number 3 machine. As I say that, Kasai cuts the grass. Looks like Ziegler almost followed suit. Here comes Ziegler looking to the left-hand side. He's going to take over the 7th place spot. Kasai falls back to 8th. Kasai may tuck in behind Ziegler here to see if he can reel his way back up to Cummins. As I say that, Cummins comes down pit road. He's got problems. Ziegler, Kasai, Bieber move up to 6th, 7th, 8th. McAllister now back up to 9th. Kasai with a big lunge to the inside against Ziegler. Ziegler fires back into turn 2. And a 3-car rodeo for 6. It's Kasai, Ziegler, Beaver. This is frantic. Kasai falls back to 8th. Ziegler and Beaver hold on to 6th and 7th. And look at that. Micah Barnett finds some pace up front. A 1:27.93 sets the pace. That is right with what Aguilar and Soto were doing in the opening feature event here tonight in Interlagos. Ziegler holding on to the 6th place spot, but he's got a lot of company behind him with the likes of Bieber and Kasai. The rest of the field very stretched out. As Scott Cummins still in pit road. Ziegler, Beaver, Kasai still bunched together. Gareth McAllister, Levi Opitz slowly closing the gap here. And this is going to be an absolute massive battle for 6th if they get rejoined. Linking back up. Beaver trying to make a move here against Ziegler. And every time they're side by side as they do so once more, that allows John Kasai, Gareth McAllister, Levi Opitz to close the gap. Ziegler and Beaver wheel to wheel here. Kasai rejoining the fray. And the 3-car battle for 6th. Now your race leader Michael Barnett has a 3-second advantage over Russell Soto. Soto has answered the fast lap of the race. Both Barnett and Soto, both with 127.92s. Identical fast laps so far tonight at Interlagos. Barnett didn't really get a chance to shine in the feature event, but he's going to make up for it here in the sprint. And look at this, Beaver Ziegler still going at it. Gareth McAllister's joined the fray. The number 25 machine has worked his way back up into 8th. And I've received a report from one of our drivers that I sound sick up in the broadcast booth. Let me assure you guys, all is well up here in the booth, broadcasting with a remote broadcast rig this evening. So everything's good on my end, but thank you for the concern from some of the drivers and the fans. As we continue watching the 4-car battle for 6th, it's Beaver, Ziegler, McAllister, Kasai, all in the fray. Unfortunately, Levi Opitz has fallen back. He will not be able to join the party up front. As Beaver's going to try and fend off Jared Ziegler's 57 machine. Only 5 laps left to go here in the sprint race. Ziegler catches the draft, tries to close the gap as Kasai and McAllister going side by side. McAllister locking it up on the inside line. Kasai tries to fire back. McAllister fends off the number 3 for a little while longer. Now McAllister's been driving with a lot more confidence here as of late. Not sure if that's due to personal life or the fact that he picked up a first-time win this season. Kind of like a little bit of contact there, but let's go a little bit further up front as well. Xavier Zanave now has company from Antonio Bianchi's number 17 machine. This will be the battle for 3rd. The final podium spot. Bianchi has to drive carefully. I don't believe he can afford many, if any, incident points this season. Bianchi squarely in the draft with the Frenchman, taking a look at the inside line into 1. Bianchi throws it in deep, takes over the 3rd place spot. Zanave looking for an opening that's just not quite there. And Bianchi's going to try very hard to hold on to that final podium spot. Both drivers looking for an opening. Zanave threatens it, throwing it in very deep the inside line, locks up the brakes. Zanave not afraid to throw some aggressiveness towards the number 17 machine. He's going to look to the inside line once more, doesn't get the car settled. That'll give Bianchi about 4/10 of breathing room. And it looks like Bianchi able to fend him off on pace. He's pulled about a 6/10 gap over Zanave as the field seems to be settling down a little bit here. As up front, Mike and Barnett enjoying the limelight. Flicking off laps, making it look easy, that number 59 machine. Again, Barnett in first, Soto in second, identical fastest laps of the race, and Barnett still holding on to a 2.3 second advantage. 3 laps left to go here at Brazil. Barnett losing a little bit of time there. Soto maybe finding some pace. Now Soto was able to click off a 127.74 his last time by, but not a clean lap. So it will not be counted on the race stats, the fastest lap of the race. As let's go a little bit further back in the field, Jared Ziegler. It looks like he has Gareth McAllister, John Kasai joining from behind. Let's see, will McAllister and Kasai work together here to close the gap to Jared Ziegler? Or are they going to spend too much time battling? Looks like McAllister closes the gap to very briefly 3/10. And McAllister charging forward against Ziegler's 57. Again, we've seen a lot more aggressiveness out of McAllister after that most recent win. Willing to risk it a little bit more. Well, let's see what's going to happen here. It's Ziegler, McAllister, Kasai separated by less than a half a second. In a very heated battle for 7th, a 3-car battle for 7th. Now, white flag will be out this time by for Micah Barnett, but here comes McAllister. A big lunge up the inside line, a massive lockup out of the number 25 machine. Ziegler avoids getting into him, and Kasai is going to watch this battle with heated interest to see who makes the first mistake. Kasai hops out of formation, takes a peek at the inside line. Ziegler does the same. Neither driver commits to a move, and that gives McAllister a half-second advantage. Now, surely Ziegler and Kasai know if they spend too much time battling each other, that will give McAllister the breakaway, but Kasai takes another peek at the inside line of Ziegler. Nothing to do with it. As we still see the telltale smoke of micro lockups. Drivers using all of the braking capacity and then a little bit more. Trying to pull up some statistics here. Micah Barnett, 4th in the points. Picked up a win last week in the feature event. I believe it was the feature event. Trying to pick up his second win of the season, as he still holds a 1.4 second advantage over Russell Soto. White flag is out, and we watch Ziegler and Kasai still throwing shots at each other. Kasai up the inside line. Ziegler carries a little bit more speed around the outside, extending the track limits here. And that's going to have Ziegler set up for the right-hander. Both drivers just wheel to wheel, not yielding an inch. Ziegler pulls the gap out over Kasai. Kasai tries to go around the long way. That has allowed Gareth McAllister to sail away in 7th place. As up front, it's still Barnett, Soto, Bianchi. Ziegler with another lockup. And we just got the report the checkered flag is out. Micah Barnett gets his second win of the season. Russell Soto finishes second. And Antonio Bianchi makes his way up onto the podium, a hard-fought third. What a great race amongst these drivers. So we're going to try and get these top 3 up here into the waiting room. After another, it's every time we're out here at Interlagos, especially the sprint races, things get all sorts of exciting across the field. As we try and get our top 3, looks like we've got just about everybody. The gang's all here. And we're going to start things off with Mr. Antonio Bianchi. Bianchi, we know there was disappointment across the paddock with how that opening feature event went, but hey, what a way to turn around a hard-fought third and a clean race car at the end of a sprint race.
Yeah, it looks like we're back in action there. I guess there's a lot of wrecking, man. I'm going to have to take that title from Casey Kerwin. I think I'm the new Moses. That was insane.
Yeah, it's a 4 or 5 car battle. They piled up right in front of you, and I know incident points are at the forefront of your mind. And how white knuckle was that moment? And did you even have time to think during that one?
I was just trying to make it through. I saw that they were racing pretty hard, so I was kind of hoping something like that was going to happen. I did not think they were going to clear 3 cars out. That was pretty crazy. I will say that was a gift.
No doubt, and still able to capitalize. A great run throughout the night. Antonio, I know we were kind of joking before the broadcast and after the feature event that if things go poorly, we're going to have you up in the broadcast booth for the season finale. But what are you thinking after that race? Are you going to be out there running, or are you going to be talking for the final round?
It looks like we're going to be running, apparently. I mean, there is a protest submission between me and Chase, so I mean, it can technically get overturned, but I think it will. It's either 50-50 or it's going to be the other way, I think, in my opinion, but we'll have.
Well, awesome, Antonio. We're pumped for you. A great race tonight, getting close to the end of the season, and hopefully we'll have you out on track instead of one of your patented interview.
To see what everyone else thinks.
Up there we go. I think your internet cut out for a second, buddy.
Oh, did it? Oh, I'm back, apparently.
Yeah, we're back. We're good. So, yeah, Antonio, hopefully we'll see you out on track next week. We'd love to see that number 17 machine out there charging forward instead of one of your patented mid-race interview sessions that you become known for. So, fingers crossed there, my friend. And Antonio, before we let you sign off and celebrate, who do you want to give a shout-out to?
You know what? I don't got anybody too crazy to shout out this week, but I was gonna say, well, shout out to my homie Levi. He's always there as usual. Man's chilling. He just missed the points this week, but it's okay. But also shout out to Xavier. That was pretty fun battling him, and it's cool to see him up at the front. I know he's improved a lot over the 4 seasons that he's been here, so I think it's pretty cool seeing him up here now from where he used to be. So And there's a few other guys in the league that have done that too. I can't think of their names off the top of my head, but it's cool to see, man. It's good to see everybody improving and upping their pace up a bit. But and thank you, James, as well. That's all I got. I promise I'll leave.
Awesome. Now, my pleasure, Antonio. Always a great time talking to my friend. Congratulations on that third year in the sprint race.
Thanks, man. See you next time, hopefully.
Yes, sir. That was Antonio Bianchi bringing home the third place spot. Up next, we've got Russell Soto with a second place finish. Soto, a great race out there, able to come back after a very disappointing feature event finish and able to run fast, run clean, and looked like he kind of stayed out of any incidents for that one.
Absolutely, James. It was definitely a much better race this time around. Very aggressive in the beginning, but I made my way back up into second. Still not quite the result I would have hoped for, but to be able to have second place and to actually finish a sprint race this season, it's a great takeaway, and I'm happy with my result.
Now, I guess one of the only downsides we have that averted top 12, it gives kind of the dark horse racers such as Micah Barnett didn't have much of a showing in the feature event. All of a sudden, coming out, clicking off, I think you and Barnett had identical fast laps of the race. So how do you plan for those unknowns where there's talented guys that really didn't get to show their cards in the feature event? All of a sudden, you have guys such as Aguilar. We know his pace. He's out of the event. Next thing you know, you've got guys like Barnett to challenge you.
Absolutely, James. I definitely think the sprint race format is great because, for example, even myself this race, I didn't have a great feature, but I was able to show up in the sprint and even chase for the lead towards the end, being within a second. So I definitely think it's a great format, and it definitely allows for some closer, greater racing.
Well, awesome. I know I'm a fan of it. The fans are as well at home. And Russell, it's always great having you back out on track, especially the increased frequency we're seeing late in the season. So good to have you back out there. A lot of fun watching you drive. And before I let you go, for the final time for you tonight, who would you like to give a shout to that helps make this evening possible?
Absolutely. For this race, I just like to highlight the drivers of this league. They're amazing, great fun. They're buddies off track, they're buddies on track. Well, I wouldn't say buddies on track if they're my competitors, but they are definitely great guys. If you're interested in the league, I would definitely recommend joining. I'd also like to shout out the stream, Goon Squad. Didn't shout them out before. It's a great channel. Definitely check out their content. And myself, check out www.russellsotoracing.com. Thank you very much, James.
Awesome. Always a pleasure talking to you, Russell. Congratulations, and hope to see you doing well next week as well, my friend.
Thank you so much.
That was Russell Soto finishing in the top spot. But up next, the man of the hour, Micah Barnett, the 59 machine, bringing it home in the sprint race. Welcome to the top spot, second win of the season, and pretty much uncontested here tonight after the opening 3 laps.
Yeah, I'm glad it looked uncontested. It didn't feel that way to me. Soto was so fast tonight. Felt like he was applying pressure the whole time, and I actually turned off everything in the cockpit so I could just try to focus forward on not driving it off the track into the grass or into the walls. But yeah, good fun.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great race from you. I know you didn't have the feature event you were looking for, and we were talking to Soto just a few seconds ago that you were kind of a dark horse and unknown in the sprint race. Didn't really get to show that fast laps, that pace you had in the sprint and the feature, just due to controversy and a lot of traffic. So what was it like when you found yourself out front? I know it's obviously a lot of pressure, but I mean, was it feeling better knowing you had clean air and just yourself to worry about for the majority of the race?
Oh yeah, it was starting second in the sprint was intentional. I got a stop and hold for 40 seconds at the start of the feature, which put me way in the back. And so once I realized I couldn't get a good finish, I was trying to get 11th or 12th to be at the start of the sprint, try and pick up some points and chase down Nick, who unfortunately, I mean, I'm glad he won. He's a good guy, but I also hate that he won because he pulled away from me in the championship. So
now, Mike, I'm glad. Granted, it's not the same race, but the feature event. How did you get a stop and hold in the feature event? We didn't get a chance to talk to you.
Yeah, I rolled forward at the start. I was trying to get my start stuff down, and I put it in gear when I had the clutch still at the bite point, and it rolled, I don't know, 18 inches forward, and that was it. That was the end of my race. So.
Well, darn it. Well, hey, at least you're able to cap off the night on a high spot, the second win. And Mike, I had a I guess I was having issues reading the standing sheet, the stat sheet Was your other win a sprint win as well this season?
Yep. Yeah, I've gone from wrecking out on lap 1 in the sprints to I think the last couple of them I've been able to win by old age and treachery. So yeah.
Well, it's the youth and exuberance, no match for age and treachery. So, Micah,
Yeah,
you're a
at
walking,
least this
talking
week.
T-shirt, my friend. So glad to see you picking up those sprint wins and the season getting a little bit better for you, especially after that rough start in the feature. A lot of fun to watch for me up here in the booth, as well as our fans at home. And Micah, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps make this evening possible?
Yep. As always, appreciate the broadcast. My team, Scuderia Chicken House, and my wife and my daughters for putting up with me spending Thursday nights playing race car.
Awesome, Micah. Again, congratulations. Hope to see big things out of you for the final round this season as well as seasons to come. And it's been a lot of fun watching you get faster and more consistent as the races go on.
Appreciate it, James.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yep. Bye.
And that was Micah Barnett bringing home the top spot in the sprint race here at the League Zero. The second to final round of the season, the premier Formula 3 iRacing League in the sprint race. It was Micah Barnett, Russell Soto, Antonio Bianchi rounding out the top three. As always, on behalf of LeagueZero.net as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name has been James East. Thank you all so much for spending your Thursday afternoon with us. The best way you could have spent 2 hours of your life, and this show would not be nearly as much fun without our fans from across the world. So, sincerely, thank you, and I look forward to having you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.